ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So today we shall be discussing the second verse of Damodarashtakam. The second verse goes like Rudantam muhur netra yugmam rechantam karam bhoja yugmena satanka netram muhu shwastakam patri rekhakantam Sthitagraiva Damodaram Bhakti Bhadam. So, Rudantam. Now the pastime is being described from the second verse. After offering his obeisances in the first verse and describing the preliminary background, the pastime is being described here. The Supreme Lord is Rudantam. He is crying. Now, the Supreme Lord is crying, Rudantam. Generally, the crying is done, by shedding tears. Person cries, the tears also come in the eyes. Is done to invoke compassion. Like we read in Srimad Bhagavatam in the 10th canto, first chapter. Bhumi Devi, she approached Lord Brahma with tears in her eyes. She was crying to invoke the compassion of Lord Brahma. So similarly, the Lord is crying because he's fearful of Mother Yasoda, seeing her stick in the hand. He is trying to invoke the compassion of Mother Yasoda. So therefore, Rudantam, he is crying. And when he's crying, some phenomena is happening that is being described very beautifully. Rudantam muhu. Again and again. Muhu means again and again. What is happening again and again is actually worth meditating in these words. Rudantam muhu. Rudantam muhur netra yugmam rechantam. He is rubbing his eyes with his two lotus hands again and again. Rudantam muhur netra yugmantam. Netra means eyes and yugmantam. The two. Yuga means two. So, netra yugmantam mrijantam. Mrijantam means he is rubbing the eyes. Rubbing with what? Kara ambuja yugmena, with the two lotus hands. Kara means hands and ambuja means lotus. So lotus hands, yugmena again means two. So he has two beautiful eyes and he's using the two lotus hands to rub the eyes. Karam bhoja yugmena sa-atanka netram. His eyes are filled with atanka, with the terror. So, the Supreme Lord, as we discussed in the previous verse also, is fearful of Mother Yasoda. So much so that his eyes are filled with terror. One time, generally the mothers, they try to scare the children whenever the children are disobedient, especially in their tender age, when they're younger children. I remember many years ago, our son, Premanand, when he was very young. So in our home, we had a household, word to scare him. We had a neighbor, Prabhupada disciple. His voice was very great. So very often he would come to the door and say, he would call my wife, Mother, you have some prasad. And hearing his voice, Premanand would get scared. So we had to make that devotee into a character to scare him, called Buddha Baba. So whenever Premanand would be disobedient, we'd say, quickly eat, otherwise Buddha Baba will come. So similarly, Mother Yasoda also had two statues, lion-like statues outside her home. And she used to call them Haubalau. So she would tell often Krishna and Balaram, if they were sometime not listening, she'd say, Krishna, quickly sleep, otherwise Haubalau will come and eat you. So one time, Mother Yasoda is trying to put Krishna to sleep. She's telling Krishna, Krishna, come and sleep. Otherwise, Haubalau will come and eat you. So Krishna, he started telling Mother Yasoda, Mother, what you are scaring me of this Haubalau? I am Narsimhadev. I appeared in the previous age, in previous times, as half man and half lion, and I tore apart the demon Hiranyakashipu. And Mother Yasoda is like, oh really? Not only that, before that I appeared as Varaha and I killed the demon Hiranyaksha. And Mother Yasoda said, oh, is it so? Yes, Mother. What are you trying to scare me with this Haubalau? I also appeared as Ram and I killed the ten-headed monster Ravan. In the meantime, when Krishna is speaking, a small cat came from behind, sneaking up to him and made a noise. Meow. And Krishna immediately got scared and jumped into Mother Yasoda's lap. And Mother Yasoda started smiling. She said, Krishna, you are Narasimha. You are Varaha. You are Ram. And you are scared of the cat? And Krishna, in great fear in his eyes, was trying to hide his face in Mother Yasoda's lap. So Krishna, although he is the Supreme Lord, fear for the fear personified, yet his eyes are filled with terror, seeing the whipping stick in the mother's hand. Rudantam muhur netra yugmam rijantam karam bhoja yugmena sa-atanka netram. So his eyes are filled with terror. Muhu shvasakam patri rekanka kanta. Now this is actually something to meditate upon. Muhu, again the word muhu has come. Muhu means again and again. So again and again one phenomena is happening which is being described here. Muhu shvasa. Shvasa is used in the sense of sobbing. Krishna is sobbing. So he's sobbing in this way, crying. Muhu shvasa. And this kind of sobbing is causing kampa, is causing trembling. What is trembling? Muhu shvasa kampa tri rekanka kantha sthita graiva. Graiva is jewelry or necklace. So it's called graiva. The graiva is situated on the neck. Sthita graiva. Sthita means situated. So where is the graiva situated? In the neck. Tri rekanka kantha. Kantha means neck. But Krishna's kantha is marked with 3 lines. Therefore it says Tri Rekha Anka. 3 means 3, Rekha means lines, and Anka means mark. So Krishna's neck is marked with 3 lines, just like a conch shell. If you see, look at here. This conch shell has 3 lines. You can distinctly see 1, 2, and 3. So Krishna's neck is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell. So this is being described in a meditative mood. The pearl necklace, which is situated at the neck of Krishna, which is marked with 3 lines, it's shaking due to his quick breathing. Sita Graiva, Damodara. I meditate upon that Supreme Lord Damodara. Damodara means the Lord whose belly, Udara, is bound with Dama, with the rope. But one may think, okay, so the Lord is bound with the rope. Immediately it concludes by saying, Bhakti Bhadan. He is not bound by the ordinary ropes. He is bound by the ropes of Bhakti, devotion. Devotional service is the only rope that can bind Krishna. Because Mother Yasoda, when she was trying to bind Krishna, the rope was falling 2 fingers too short. She tried to bring all the ropes within her home and try to tie it together. And the course of trying to tie the ropes together, bringing ropes and trying to tie together, she was perspiring. She was laboring hard. With great determination, she wanted to bind Krishna. So when Krishna saw her mother's love and devotion and determination to bind him, seeing her devotion, he agreed to be bound. Similarly, when Krishna was delivering the two brothers, which will be coming in the forthcoming verses, the two Yamal trees, the sons of Kuvera, Krishna is thinking himself in the mind. He said, because Devrishi Narada is my dear devotee, and because these two boys are the sons of my devotee Kubera, I will deliver them in order to fulfill the words previously spoken by Mahatma Narada. So Krishna is feeling obliged. Srila Prabhupada actually mentions in Krishna book, Krishna had nothing to do with the two brothers. They were kind of materialistic persons, very much interested in enjoying the worldly pleasures. But because they came in the vision of Narada, and Narada wanted them to be delivered, and because they happened to be the sons of Kuvera, Krishna was obliged to fulfill the prophecy of Narada and to also show his love for his devotee Kuvera. He agreed to deliver these two trees. So, therefore, this word bhakti badam is indicating that Lord is bound by bhakti. Ajita jitopi. The Lord is called Ajita, unconquerable, but he is still conquered by bhakti. Srila Vishnu Chakri Thakur explains in this regard, the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna, he cannot be controlled by anything. On the contrary, he controls everything. Everything is completely under his control. Everything and everyone is under his control. Yet, there is one thing that Krishna cannot control, and that is prema, the loving devotional service of his devotees. He cannot control that. On the contrary, he is controlled by that. And being controlled by the love of his devotees is not a flaw, but it's a beautiful ornament in Krishna. So this ornament is being described by Satyavrat Muni by the word Bhakti Badam. Hare Krishna.